yours. Why people are abusing your customers? Hey, those voice notes. Customer will say 1, you will say 10. For what? It's a service. You serve. The customer is here, you are here, you deliver a service. How did I know all of this? I attended a customer service training some 3-4 years ago. Yeah, and it changed my business. Now, customers rate my customer service over 95%. I don't want to say 100%. I don't want to be proud. Yeah, but my customer service in this store, in this business, is something to reckon with. Because I'm intentional, so I invested in my business and went to find out what keeps a customer loyal. Do you want loyal customers? Invest in a customer service training today. Go to CAS Consults now. They trained me 3-4 years ago and I've been excelling. They are offering a customer service training in March. Sign up, put money in your business and see the changes you desire. If I'm a busy customer. Okay now.
All right, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everyone. Please confirm if you can hear me in the chat room. If you can't, kindly check your device to be sure that you can hear me properly. Okay, so as usual, I'm joining from the beautiful city of Abuja. My audience, I would like to know where you're joining from. Kindly share your name and your joining location. I know we have people around the world, in Nigeria, here in Canada, in the UK, in the US, Kenya, wherever you're joining from. Please put it in the chat room, your name and location. It's a pleasure to have you here with us in this fireside chats, courtesy of CAS Consults, towards our Career Acceleration Summit for 2025. So today, we're going to be diving into something very, I think this topic is quite a topic that everyone wants to hear about. Yeah, bringing emotions into work. So like we mentioned, this fire chats topic is the EQ is the new IQ, right? EQ is the new IQ. So what is emotional intelligence for career acceleration? Our coach is here, our guest is here with us today, and I'm sure we are excited. I'm sure we want to learn, want to hear how to be resilient, how to put in personal growth, how to ensure that we are using the right emotions in our workplace, in our career acceleration, in whatever we find ourselves doing, how we're able to manage our conversations, how we're able to manage our emotions when we are faced with certain things in our career and on our career journey. So before we start, before I bring my special guest, trust me, if we're not even ready for our guest today, before I bring my special guest, I have a question that I would like us to answer in the chat room. Just one word. How would you describe someone that has emotional intelligence? I want to see your comments in the chat room. Just one word. How would you describe someone who you would say, oh, this person is emotionally intelligent? What would you use to describe that one person, right? Okay, so I'm going to be introducing our guests. Please, if you're just joining us, kindly state your name, your location, where you're joining from, what you are looking forward to learning at this fireside chat, what you want to, maybe you can start to ask your questions that you feel like you've had at the back of your mind and you want to put it ahead for our guests to be on. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage with me, Coach Tega Omogo. She's going to be our amazing guest today, right? And I'm going to be reading her profile so you know the wealth of knowledge and the experience this person is bringing to this short time that we're going to be spending with her today. So Kotega Omogo is a visionary author, trainer, and certified mental health and addiction therapist, passionate about behavioral change and youth empowerment. She's the founder of Flourish Life Center, a faith-based rehabilitation and wellness hub supporting women in recovery, and project coordinator in the Back to Light Foundation, which helps drug victims transition to sobriety. She's a trained UNODC substance abuse educator and North Central Regional Chief for medical health, if I'm correct, medical health with the Guido Global Female Leaders. Kotega is also a communications expert, trauma-informed counselor, and teens mentor. She has spoken on national and international platforms, organizes schools and community outreach in the FCT, and a member of the ISSUP and OND Nigeria, CND Nigeria, sorry. Based in Abuja, she is happily married and a proud mother. Ladies and gentlemen, professionals of all caliber, can we bring to the stage Coach Tega Omogo? It's a pleasure to have you here with me. I am so excited to have you to have you here with us on this side. You're welcome. You're very welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me in today. And I am so excited to be here. Thank you, Atinuke. It's always a pleasure to see you and speak with you. Thank you, Captain Consul. Thank you, Falake, my sister and my friend. Thank you, the whole team. You guys are doing amazing for career in Nigeria. It's such a beautiful thing. And I'm really thrilled to be part of this. So in trying to get ready for this class, this particular session, I had my fair share of the test of what I'm about to teach. Out of the clear blues, I used the laptop this morning, did a lot of work, and then I put on my laptop. I come in feeling very ready. And guess what? The volume on my MacBook just went off. Immediately, I started to think, what can I do? And then I quickly took my husband's laptop. It's an old one that we had been using, and I started to figure it out. I couldn't get a lot of things together. And I was beginning to get agitated, but I took my own pill. You know, when they say heal and heal yourself, that's exactly what happened to me this evening. So it's such an honor to be here. And if I can get permission to share my slides, I'll be super happy. I think I have it now. Okay. So we're talking about emotional intelligence, which is the new IQ. So, you know, when we were younger, one of the things that they will say to you is that your IQ has to be high. And everyone really, really believed that high IQ was the thing. And we all want to just, you know, be very intelligent. They'll be measuring your IQ, in fact. How high is your IQ? If you have an IQ of such and such, that means you are really, really intelligent. Yeah. And that's what it was that people used to, what's the word now? Employ people. But right now we're at a time where being book smart is not enough. There was a time when a high IQ was the flex, according to Gen Z language. It was the flex. But right now we are on to emotional intelligence. I have just a very few minutes to get this over with. So what's the reality of Nigeria's job market? I'm going to be using Nigeria because I mean, it's my country and that's exactly where we are. I understand that there are quite a few people who are also in the diaspora and would be, you know, connecting as well. So one size may fit all the gloves at this moment. So we're going to be talking about EQ being the new IQ. So we understand, first of all, that the labor market as it is very, very volatile. A lot of people are going through, you know, there's a lot of people that are saying that they don't have jobs. and they don't even understand what it is that's keeping them. IQ will get you in the room. Your CV will speak for you. Your IQ will get you in the room. What will help you keep the job is your emotional intelligence. So the labor market presents unique challenges that make EQ more critical than ever. With a lot of high employment rates, creating intense competition, we now understand that academic excellence is not just enough. So technical skills and strong academic credentials may open the door, but what keeps you in the room is your emotional intelligence. So, what is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is the ability to identify and understand emotions as they occur in yourself and in others. It's not just about yourself. Many of us have the opinion that, well, if I am aware of my own emotions, then I'm fine. But no, you need your emotions, you need the other people's emotions, and then find ways to make everything become a win-win situation. And this is me paraphrasing. So it is your ability to recognize, understand, manage, influence emotions, both yours and those of others. While EQ might get you noticed, EQ is what transforms potential into lasting success. So, recognition one, management two, and influence third. Did I just lose my slides? Thank you. So I'm on the third slide now. So the 5 pillars of emotional intelligence. Number one, I'm sure most of us have heard this before, that emotional intelligence is upon 5 pillars. And that is number one, self-awareness. Number two, self-regulation. Number 3, motivation. Number 4, empathy. And of course, the 5th one is social skills. Self-awareness. I'm on the next slide, thank you. Self-awareness is just you understanding your emotional patterns, understanding your strengths, and understanding your triggers. It is yourself first. Of course, it's the basis of all. In fact, they will tell you that that is the first commandment. Know thyself. Understand your own emotions, know your emotional patterns, understand your strengths, and then know your triggers. Then self-regulation is managing emotions effectively under pressure and under stress, which is exactly what I spoke about that happened to me just before I came in here. So I knew immediately that I was running out of time, and I'm glad I came in maybe like 25 minutes in, but look at how long it still took me to be able to gather myself and make those decisions on my feet, almost immediately making decisions. So you need to be aware of your emotional patterns under normal circumstances. I know how my body responds to stuff like that. I started sweating and I was already thinking, I'm going to panic. I picked up my phone and I was trying to call the team. I sent a voice message. I was sending this and that. But at the same time, as I was doing that, I was telling myself, you are going to panic and you're going to make a mess of your presentation. So calm down. And I started to breathe. Really, I actually took my time and took a few deep breaths because I understood my emotional patterns, and immediately I started to regulate. You cannot regulate unless you are aware. When you are aware, then you can regulate. So the first step is awareness. Do you even know your emotional patterns? Do you know when you have become to get stressed? Do you know when your pressure is getting to you? Do you know how you will act when you are under stress? And the moment you understand how you will act, guess what? You will know how to manage it. It will now be the next step for you to say, how do I manage this? And then you will now start learning how to manage it. The next one is motivation. Motivation is maintaining inner drive and resilience beyond external rewards, beyond external influences, beyond anything that is happening around you. It must come from inside of you. I promise you, at some point when it happened, guess what? NEPA took light. And I was telling myself that, look, let me just, the first thought that came to my head was just call Coach Folake and tell her that, you know what? I'll send my slides. Let someone else take this session because, but I remembered, come on, this is exactly what you're teaching. So even the best of us, we are still work in progress. However, many of us have mastered it and we have quickly become aware. So don't think that anyone has arrived there. Most of us have mastered it and it's easier to get back into motivating yourself. I sent my slides all right, and that's why they were able to pick it up and put it up. I had to think quickly, what can you do at this moment? I needed to we need to go on. It's not about me. There is work to be done. So I sent it immediately to one of the team members, just in case I cannot project. What is the next thing that we do? If the laptop doesn't come on, I'll use my mobile. And I was already taking my phone to check. Okay, so this mobile phone has Zoom on it, and let's go. So you must maintain inner drive, because nobody will motivate you as much as you want to motivate. You are the only one who knows the reason why you need to move. The fourth one is empathy, and that is reading and understanding others' emotions and perspectives. The next thing I thought about was, how would this look for Coach Folake? Because everything under normal circumstances, all things being equal, was supposed to have a fantastic evening. Then all of a sudden, I'm going to call and say, I'm not going to do this. No, I'm going to be messing up her own program. So I told myself, you will not do this. You will make sure you find another option to make sure this thing goes on the board. And that's exactly what empathy is. Walking in the shoes of another. How would she feel if I do that? Seeing through the eyes of another, hearing from the ears of another, feeling with the heart of another, not constantly yourself. I know we talk about self-love and all of that, but self-love and self-care is not selfish. So empathy is important in emotional intelligence. Social skills, of course, building positive relationships and influencing others effectively. It is so important that you build positive relationships. I had a girl once who was looking for a job, and is someone who I worked with. She was going through therapy. And then she said she was slipping into a depression, and I asked her to go for an event. I said, don't stay at home, get up, get out, and just go and take some air, see people and all of that. And she got out there. She sat beside an elderly woman when she got there, and she was being very antisocial. She was on her mobile half the time, and she was chatting me up and saying, you asked me to come out. I don't know what's going on here. The friend who I came to see is not paying attention. She hasn't even come to meet me. And there's one elderly woman that is really harassing me. And I told her, pay attention, just with the woman, so that you can, just take your mind off stuff a bit. And then her friend comes quickly and says, oh, Ma, please, can you help me keep my friend company? I'm still trying to put things together. And then she just sent me a message and said, can you imagine? I'm trying to avoid this. My friend is telling me now that she should keep me company. What kind of behavior is that? I said, just keep the conversation. So she stopped doing one-liners and she kept checking her phone. She had applied for a grant, and the application was going to go, or was going to close, I think at 2 p.m. And they said, if you don't get an email from 2 p.m., know that you did not qualify. So she told the woman that this is what I'm going through and all of that. And the woman said to her that, what company is that? She said, oh, this is the company. And the woman said, oh, my brother owns that company? She was like, you're kidding me. And she said, no, I'm not. And she placed the call to him, and immediately the guy said there were 3,000 applications. However, we need only 3 people to offer that grant to. And she said, I have a new friend here and she needs that grant. Is this something you can work out for me? She said, by all means. Right now it's based on, we don't even know how to go, all of them are qualified, but since you have someone, I'll take her. She immediately got an email, and that's how she got the grant. Social skills. Many of us don't know how to build relationships. You go to an event, you are on your phone. You go to an event, you don't even want, you're just searching for only people that you know. You don't know anybody, then you're buried in your mobile. Or you're just sipping your drink or something, you're facing your phone. Never go to any event without your business card. Never go to any event without the thought that I am going to meet someone. Which brings me to how you also dress. You must look the part. So when you go out and you're going to meet people, you must look the part, you must smell good, you must look good, you must dress at least decently. It doesn't have to be expensive for it to look good. Just dress decently, go out there and connect with people that you never know how it will add to your life. That's how that girl got the grant. And hey, the depression disappeared automatically. Next slide, please. So social skills are very important. Very, very important. So self-awareness and self-regulation in action. Know your triggers. Number one, okay, now an example is a recent graduate realizes he becomes extremely nervous during interviews, causing him to stumble over answers. By recognizing his patterns, he can prepare specific stress management techniques and practice responses beforehand. Practice is so important. So if you know that is how you will react, what do you do? Think on your feet. What do I need to do? Let me start thinking of breathing in and out, taking breathing exercises. That's what I talked about earlier. Taking breathing exercises, so important. Next thing is staying professional. You're stuck in traffic, or just like what happened to me just now. Self-regulation means managing your emotions so that they work for you and not against you, especially in high-stress work environments. Next slide, please. Very important. We must know how to know our triggers and then manage them. Motivation has to be beyond money. It must not be every time that you are trying to get a job and you're thinking, oh, how much are they paying me? Sometimes you might look at it as it can be a networking gold mine. So instead of complaining about how much you're paid, focus on building connections and gaining the experience that you need that will accelerate you on the long run. You never know who can help you. Every time, money is not the most important thing. There are some people, that's why they say your network is your net worth. When you realize the kind of people that you have around you, the connections that you have created, it might make much more sense. I heard yesterday about a guy who worked with First Bank and then they laid him off. I think there was a massive layoff. And guess what? A week later, a customer comes in and says, where is this guy? They said they've not seen him in that, oh, he was part of the people that this thing happened. The man said, no, give me his number. That guy is amazing. He did this for me. He works under pressure. That's how he gave him a job. Almost immediately, that paid him times 3 what the bank paid him. And guess what? He has started his own company. So it's important that money should not be the motivation constantly. It can be a motivation, but look beyond that, all right? Then empathy management. You must understand how people, like if you have someone that needs to come to work. I know a boss who knew that they increased fuel. And then he understood that there are many people that will come from far away. And then he moved his time, the resumption time, from 7 a.m., he moved it to 8 a.m. That is empathy. Empathy builds loyalty and it creates a supportive work environment that boosts overall performance. I know bosses who would tell their staff, okay, I'm going to give you an allowance or come twice a week. You don't have to come every day. Come 3 times a week and work twice remotely. Social skills, networking isn't just about collecting business cards. It's about building genuine relationships, being genuine. It will help you in every area of your career. Next slide, please. So why does EQ dominate the job market? Employability skills priority. Most employers consistently emphasize communication and teamwork and problem solving over technical qualifications. EQ directly impacts this critical soft skill. Very soft, but very critical. So when you're able to work with others, that's social skills. When you're able to communicate properly, those are social skills that can help you. And of course, people rarely lose jobs due to technical knowledge. Most times it's poor attitude and inability to work with others. There's some people who are just impossible to work with. Some people are constantly have emotional outbursts. They don't even know how to just take some things in. I'm not saying you should suppress, but I'm saying make room for others. All right. Next slide, please. And leadership, of course, those with high EQ most times will emerge as the leader of the team. So what are some of the strategies, career acceleration strategies? It will help you with interview success. When you master your nervousness and project authentic confidence, emotional intelligence candidates always stand out by connecting with interviewers on a very human level. Leadership growth, of course, team collaboration, and adaptability. When you handle workplace conflict without burning bridges, some people just know how to just burn bridges constantly. You must find ways to navigate disagreements. You must find ways to build your reputation as a reliable team player. You will not like everyone and everyone will not like you, but you must find ways to be able to work with people because you are not an island. Everyone needs to do business with someone else. Next slide. Okay, let's do the next one. Is that the last one? The next one. So let's say now that you have a workplace situation. How would you intentionally apply your emotional intelligence? It's something that you need to start thinking about. Whether it's managing frustration or listening more actively or building a new professional relationship, you need to start committing to practice emotional intelligence daily, day by day. First of all, start with yourself. Start with understanding your triggers.
All right. Please would be just hold on for a minute. I think she's having a bit of network issue. It's about to rain here in Abuja, so pardon us for a few minutes. If you've learned anything so far, can you drop your comments in the chat room? Anything, because I can't but start, like my notes is full. My notes is full. If I can say rather some of the things I've learned here. It says that IQ will get you in the room, but what will help you keep the job is your EQ. So what are you learning? Can you state everything that you're learning, what you've learned so far? I can say in the comment section, self-regulation is managing your emotions to work for you, not against you. Right? What's the thing that you're picking up? Evaluating yourself as regards your self emotions, your emotional intelligence, as regards your technical skills. What are the things that you're picking up? Are you self-aware? Are you self-motivated? Are you self-regulated? Do you have empathy? What is your social skill like? What's your social skill percentage? If you rate yourself, I know people who they like to be indoors, no interaction. They go to where they're going to and coming back. While it's not a bad thing, but because of the kind of world that we live in and because of how networking plays in our daily lives, look at the example that she gave as regards the banker that was laid off from his job. If he didn't have a good working relationship with that customer, he probably, like, it won't even come to his mind to want to offer him another job, to want to engage him further beyond even just being his usual banker. So how are you managing your social skills? How are you managing self-awareness? How are you ensuring that you are having the right conversations with the right people, managing your emotions when you're within certain, they say people look at you. You don't know who is seeing you. Actually, you don't know who is staring at you. You don't know who has seen you from afar. Oh, I think I saw you last week. You were the one. You never know who is watching you. So how are you managing yourself when you're in the midst of people? Another thing I wrote in my notes is, if you preempt your emotional patterns, you can plan your response. So you're able to first cool off and say what you want to say in a well-mannered form. You're able to manage your frustration. You're able to actively listen and build a good relationship with that person that you're having that conversation with, or having that or you're having that conflict with. Yeah. So also she says, look the part. For professionals who are just coming into the career space, you're a young professional, you just finished your youth service, or you're transitioning into a new career or a new profession. Can you look the parts? Can you dress like it? Can you act like it? When you meet a salesperson, you will know. When you meet someone who is in the medical line, you would know. When you meet someone who is who is a lawyer, you would know, because of the kind of words and conversations that they have, even from the way they look, right? Doctors, you would see them even from their cars. You will see the stethoscope around the mirror, or you even for lawyers, you will see their judge cap. I don't know the name for it, the professional name for it, but you understand what I mean. You see it there's always a representation of what they represent. So what do you represent? How do you want to be addressed? Right? So you should look the part of how you want to be addressed. Another one says, motivation has to be beyond money. Trust me, money can, yes, sort out a lot of things, but it cannot open all the doors for you. It is how you have related to that person that you have met. You know, the saying that says, first impression matters. To be honest, first impression really, really matters. How are you managing that emotion? How are you managing that relationship? How are you managing the first impression people have on you when you go into the marketplace? When you send your CV, how do you communicate? How do you play to the recruiter's emotions? How do you, not being all, oh, I'm begging you, please give me job. There's a way you would communicate professionally, and the person will be intrigued that, oh, okay, this person speaks like maybe an experience I've been through, or I can relate to this person's experience. So how are you motivating yourself beyond money, beyond the salary that you think you're going to get? Because sometimes it's never really enough how much you earn. It is the impact that you make at where you are. So another one is what pillars are you building for yourself? I think our yes, our guest is back. Kotega, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Speaking back from my mobile. Thank you. Third world country things. So I'm using my mobile. I'm not using my laptop anymore. So this is it generally. And it's just for us to, identify spaces where you would intentionally apply EQ. You can start to, work from even just personal relationships, managing your frustration, listening more actively. Active listening is very important. Sometimes we think we're listening because we're using our eyes only, but you need to actively listen by, nodding in agreement and facing the person when you're having conversation. Those are communication techniques that can help you with your emotional intelligence or building a new professional relationship. You need to start committing to practicing emotional intelligence daily, day to day. In Nigeria's competitive market, your EQ might get you hired, but your EQ would definitely keep you in the job and get you promoted. Emotional intelligence is not just a nice skill to have. Many people will say, oh, I'm an EQ coach. I have an emotional intelligence certification. It might be a nice skill to have, but it is very important that you know that it is your ticket to sustainable career acceleration. Thank you.
Wow, that's amazing. Can we give it up for Kotega in the chat room? That is so, so, so amazing. We got this wealth of knowledge in such little time. Thank you for managing everything. I could see even when you went off, I can imagine how you're able to manage yourself. I know. I can imagine having to control, oh God, why now? Why this? And practice, like, this is it, right? Practicing what you're preaching, literally. This is it in literal terms. So thank you so much. Can we give it up for Coach Sega in the chat room, please? I want to see the love, the fire, the hugs, everything. So for my audience, I have a question here. That's what's harder for you personally, managing your own emotions or responding to others' emotions? You can give me your answers in the chat room. Maybe say managing your own emotions. Which is harder, managing your own emotions or managing people's emotions?
So you know that a lot of people will tell you that some people are very stressful, some people are incorrigible. However, the harder one is actually managing your own emotion. Because the truth is, you can control. We always say that control what you can and release what you can't. You can control yourself, but you can't control someone else. Guess why? Okay, let me give you a literal example. So a few minutes ago, before we started, there's been light all day. So when just before we started, I told my girl, I said, listen, put the just switch to Jen and leave it on Jen throughout. Let's work with the generator. And she said, fine. Because I was battling with laptop and all of that, I didn't realize that she did not even put the gen on. So we're using light. It's about to rain, and guess what? We're in Nigeria. The light goes off. And then I asked her, I said, is it the gen that went off? She said, no, ma, there was light, so I decided to leave it. I couldn't now start, I couldn't control her. I gave her an instruction, but I couldn't control. I could have started yelling at her, and then I would lose my own composure. But I realized that I can't control her behavior, her emotions, and her actions. I can control my emotions and actions. I just told her, please put the back on. Want to back up. Maybe I'm able to express myself a bit more at concerning what she has just done. But I believe that I can control myself much more than I can control someone else's.
Yeah. Wow, that's true. Actually, you really cannot tell how you're not even sure where the person is coming from, what emotions that person is bringing into that conversation, right? So you really cannot tell how the other person will react. You can only control your emotions. Thank you so much for that. So I have a question, bringing it to the workplace and how we often think that career success is being tied to IQ. And of course, you mentioned some of those things where emotional intelligence keeps that job for you. But why is it really important? Why is it really crucial? Like, I know it's something we should think about, is a nice to have, like you said in your last slide. But why is it so crucial for career professionals to have emotional intelligence, as well as, of course, their IQ, their technical skills, but giving it a balance? Why is it really, really crucial?
It's more crucial because it determines how you manage your stress. Because life is designed to throw you lemons. You cannot control how anybody else reacts or behaves towards you. But like I said, you can control yourself. So it's crucial because it will help you determine how much you manage stress. The stress of the job, your personal stress, because many times, many of us bring our personal life stress into our careers.
Yeah.
So if you don't know how to manage your stress or build, there are times when you come to work, right? And all the things that have happened to you, let's say traffic, let's say life, and then you get into the office, you just want to be a monk and say, look, I don't want to talk to anybody. Let me just stay in my corner. Everybody, please face your front. All man, listen to your inner man and just, connect to your life. However, you need people. You need to build relationships with people. You need to resolve conflicts, and you need to find ways to inspire others, even as you have been inspired. So it's very crucial when it comes to, professionalism these days.
All right, thank you. So what specific EQ competence are non-negotiable? You mentioned a few. Are there some that, okay, it's not a must-have, but there are some that it is a must-have? What EQ competence are non-negotiable for career advancement?
Well, I would say that all of them are important, but 4 really stand out. Are you sure it's 4? I think all of them actually are non-negotiable, really. I won't lie to you. Because self-awareness, knowing your own strengths, knowing your weaknesses, knowing your triggers, do you understand? Knowing you is very important. It's the basis of all, of life, just knowing yourself. Because if you don't know yourself, other people will tell you who you really are, and it might not be accurate, right? So if self-awareness is one of them that is really non-negotiable, self-management, because when you know yourself, you must find ways to control your impulses and find ways to stay calm, even under pressure. And work pressure is a thing. Life pressure is a thing. Work stress is a thing. So you must find ways to be able to control your impulses per time. And then empathy, of course, understanding others' perspectives and building trust. There's a way you can just think that you are right all the time. And, we are not always right. You must always see from another person's eyes. There is a popular saying that we judge people based on their actions, but we judge ourselves based on our intentions. So we must understand that as much as you judge people based on their actions and you must also think of their intentions as well. So empathy is very, also very important. Then, of course, motivation will help you, because when life is not lifing, things are not put together, and things are not going your way,
Yeah.
you're going to have to find ways to motivate yourself. Yeah. Then the last one, of course, social skills. And social skills, effective communication. You must find ways to resolve conflict, and then making sure resolving conflict is making sure that everyone has a win-win situation. You're not the only one
Yeah.
who's getting away with it. If I lose and you win, I'll feel left out, or I feel like, something
Yes.
has gone wrong. So conflict resolution is very important. Everybody must have a win-win situation, and it helps us with building relationships. And relationships must be built beyond the office space. You never
Yeah.
know where you need someone in the next 10 years. You never know how the person is going to help you in another area, or like in case you need to pivot from one career to another, and you just thought, well, you're not in my industry, so you really don't matter. When you now need to pivot or you need to collaborate, what happens if you don't build the
Yeah.
social skills? So
Yeah.
I'd really say that all of them are very, 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 very important.
All right, thank you. So, ladies, gentlemen, my distinguished audience, you guys have been amazing. We're going to go on a 5 minutes break. Please don't go anywhere. Just a 5 minutes break. Take a stretch, stand up, sip a bottle of water or something. Don't go anywhere. See you shortly. welcome once again. Welcome. Like I said in my introduction, if you are just joining us, first of all, please state your name, where you're watching from, and if you've been with us from the beginning, just give a hands up, a high five to Coach Tega. I mentioned earlier that this Fireside Chats is courtesy of CAS Consult, and part of our impact story, if we put it that way, is to build professionals who are in alignment with their career, with whatever they've set out to do. So one of the ways CAS Consult is doing that is by organizing the Career Acceleration Summit. And it's coming up this October on the 10th and on the 11th, 2025. So 10th is a Friday, 11th is a Saturday. 10th is a virtual session, so everyone joins online. Please, if you have not registered, you would find the registration link in the chat room. Kindly do so as soon as possible so you save yourself a slot. However, if you're in the city of Abuja, please, we would like you to come live to the venue physically and join us. You can also come outside of Abuja if you can. We would really want you in that summit. That summit is going to be, imagine what we are already enjoying in this Fireside Chats, in these short moments. So look at the bigger picture, what is going to happen for 2 days. Professionals from all fronts are going to come and ensure that we are well equipped for the next phase of our life, for the next phase of our career progression, for the next phase of every professional decision that we are going to be making. You don't want to miss it. You want to be a part of it. Kindly register. The link is in the chat room right now. Please register, share with friends. I was even about to say that from what we've learned here, you should know that this is not just for young professionals. It's for anybody, whether you are 20 years in work experience, 10 years in work experience, you're just starting. Even if you're just starting school, it would help you, equip you to know, okay, this is what I should look out for when I begin to start my career journey. Your career journey starts from what you actually, I know sometimes we make switches from what we read in school to what we end up doing at the end of the day. But at the same time, you also want to be equipped. Imagine being emotionally equipped already before getting your technical skills at hand. You'll be able to manage things and manage people and also manage your career well. So that's part of the things that CAS Consult does. We have the Train the Trainer program. We have also shared that information. Kindly visit our social media platforms, CAS Consult. We have the customer service program also, customer service professional course. You want to be a part of it. You want to ensure that you are well equipped. Customer service is not just for people who take up phone calls and call, oh, hello, welcome to MTN. No. It is for everyone who has an interaction with other people. Your colleagues are, in quotes, your customers. Your business people are your customers. So you want to ensure that you are having the right conversation in the right way, in the right manner. So please register for the Career Acceleration Summit. You find the link in the chat room. Just click on register, give your details, share with your friends, broadcast it as much as possible. This is a drive. You don't want to be the only one growing in your circle. You also want to carry everybody along. So ensure to share the link with your peers, your colleagues, your friends, anyone, even your enemies. Let them, when they are better, they will not be envying you when you're making career progress. So thank you so much, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us again. So I'm bringing Coach Tiger back to the stage. I still have a couple of questions. Please, if you have any question, kindly drop it in the chat room so that we can have a quick discussion on it before we round up. A lot of people, like you mentioned, people bring emotions to the workplace from personal things or issues that they've been through. However, people also experience emotional damage or emotional downsides in the workplace. So how can someone use emotional intelligence, EQ, to bounce back from job rejection, from criticism or burnout? A lot of people are stuck where because they feel they are not motivated, they are not self-motivated, they're not self-aware. So their job has brought them more pain than joy. They feel burnt out. They feel like that these people don't, they feel rejection. Maybe someone was sacked and they feel, oh, it was really unfair to them. It will affect them emotionally. So how does EQ help people like that to bounce back from job rejections, criticism, or burnout?
So emotional intelligence actually helps you build resilience. And you know, when you face criticism or rejection, emotional intelligence will help you bounce back by helping you, first of all, separating the event from your identity. So this is when a person would, something will happen to a person and they will say, I'm a failure, instead of, you know, this external circumstances. I would use again today the things that have happened. Under normal circumstances, I know that I'm a fantastic trainer and I'm a fantastic coach. The fact that other things happened externally beyond my control does not make me a failure in this particular session that we have had. It is just that this has happened. Next time, I know what to do differently. So I am separating my identity from the event. I'm seeing it as feedback and not failure. And it will also help me have empathy for myself. So it will help you have empathy for yourself. It will encourage self-care instead of self-blame. Because I mean, at some point I was thinking of everything else that I could have done. But I told myself I did the best that I could at the time with what I had. All things being equal, this will have been a walkover. However, I am not going to call myself a failure. So I am recognizing that it will have stressed me out, but I calmed myself down and asked myself, what is the win-win situation for me and for CADSync in this situation? When it comes to burnout, emotional intelligence will help you recognize the early signs of stress. Some of us don't even know when we're stressed out. I remember one time having a conversation with Coach Folake, and she said to me that she was told that her stress levels are very high. And I would never forget, this was years ago, but I remember thinking, wow, so it's easy to know that your stress levels are high. How many people really know when their stress levels are high and when they need to take corrective steps? You must find ways to rest. You must find ways to delegate. You must find ways to ask for support. So EQ will turn setbacks into stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. So do you know when you're stressing yourself out? Do you know when you're taking on too much? Because sometimes in the bid for, oh, you want to be productive, you want to be seen as, you know, working hard, you are burning yourself out without knowing it. And then one day you will just lose your cool in the slightest provocation. So this is how emotional intelligence helps us. It helps us realize and recognize when we have begun to be stressed out and when we need to take the corrective measures. It builds resilience. It helps you to build resilience.
Wow. I don't know if anybody got this setbacks helps you. It's like giving you stepping stones when you have your emotional intelligence in check, rather than stumbling blocks.
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's quite amazing. Okay, so my last question. I don't know if anyone has any question in chat room. Please drop your questions in the chat room. What practical steps can someone take to become more emotionally self-aware? This is someone who they don't know that they're emotionally self-aware. They can't tell when this, because when you know all of these things, it will help influence how you lead, how you collaborate, how you communicate in the workplace. So at what point, how do you get there? What steps do you need to take to become more emotionally self-aware?
So we can lie to ourselves. People can lie to us, but our patterns will never lie to us. So journaling is so important. When you journal, you will notice your patterns. So journaling is so key because you are writing down your daily experiences, you're taking it in. You think your brain will actually be able to, take that information and you'll be able to manage it and remember. But you will notice that they say that even the bluntest pencil is sharper than the sharpest brain. So it's important that you journal your daily experiences and your emotional triggers. And a question you need to ask yourself per time is, when something has happened to you, you ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? What happened to me? And then you start to notice that, okay, if someone yelled at you at work, is it because they yelled at you that you're actually upset, or you felt disrespected? So when you start to write stuff like that down in your journal, you start to understand that, oh, I don't like being disrespected. So it is not even just the yelling. Someone pushes your back down. If someone talks to you, in manner you don't like. So you start to notice your emotional, triggers. Then number two, asking for feedback. Feedback is food for champions. Because when you get feedback from your colleagues or your mentors, you will know what to do and what not to do, because there's something called private awareness and public awareness. The first one is your journaling. So that is your private awareness, because we all have blind spots. Yeah. So you will now find ways to have public awareness so that people can also tell you how you react to matters. When I want to know some things, I call Coach Folake. She's one of those that I say, okay. And then she will give it to you. She's not even smiling with you. She will let you know for sure. So you need to have your own Coach Folake, have people like that around you that will tell you the truth. And the truth is not because they want to hurt you. Because sometimes many of us will think, oh no, she's just being biased. She's nasty. No. If the person is constructive in their feedback, that is the person who loves you and is, is very intentional about your own growth, right? Now, the next one, of course, is practicing self mindfulness. Notice your thoughts. Many of us don't even notice our thoughts. We don't know what we're thinking. We don't understand our own thoughts. We don't know our body language. They say action speaks louder than voice. Sometimes your body has started to, there's a mind body connection. Your body has started to give the signs, but you are still thinking, no, nobody knows. And you're giving the attitude, right? But they're looking at you and saying, your lips are sealed, but your body is saying everything. Your body language is very, very loud, right? So, yes, practicing mindfulness. The last one is pausing before you react. So now there is event, then there is R, then there is O. E is event, R is either react or respond, O is the outcome. Guess what? The R in the middle is what determines the outcome. It's not the event that determines it. So when something happens to you, impulsively you react, but when you respond, it's carefully thought of. So every time you ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? And then you ask yourself, what is the best way that I can respond to this matter? That is why we always tell people to pause. Because when you pause, that space determines what the outcome will be. However, if you still respond in a, maybe like a cantankerous manner or cantankerous response, it will be taken that it was carefully, so that's why they say it was premeditated. It was carefully thought, and then it was delivered in that manner. That's what you wanted to do. So, of course, when the outcome is revealed, what happens? You will tell yourself, I thought about it and I decided that I was going to respond in such a manner. But if you do it impulsively, guess what's going to happen? That's an emotional response. And you are going to have to, chances are you will have to start apologizing. That's why I always tell people, when things happen to you at work, never, ever, never immediately react, because you would now be at the tail end where you have to go and apologize. But keep yourself in the safe spot where you think about your response, then you give it, and then be able to back up whatever the outcome is. So those are practical steps that someone can take to become more emotionally self-aware.
Wow, that's amazing. Never ever respond immediately. Take a pause. Wow, I'm learning a lot. So asking for feedback, getting your private awareness and your public awareness, because of course there are blind spots. You don't know what people are saying. Your body language is saying a lot. Your mouth is saying something different. Your
You're
mind
rolling
is,
your eyes. You're saying no, sir. Yeah, you're
yeah.
rolling your eyes, right?
Yeah. Wow. Emotional intelligence, just it goes beyond what's even in your mind. Your body also react to it. So yes, I totally agree. All right, so we're going to be bringing this session to a close. It's been amazing. But before we go, I want everyone to reflect in the chat room. If EQ is a new IQ, what's that one small change you will make this week to grow your emotional intelligence? What's that one small thing? Would you, for people who take public transport and they have issues with the conductor or the driver, this week, would you promise yourself not to react, rather to respond? And response, you take a pause. So you know when you take that pause, you rethink, is it really worth it? Like, I'm going to work. I need to be in the best shape of mind. So what's that one thing? Are you going to be actively listening? Are you going to ensure that you're practicing empathy, right? Are you going to be pausing before reacting? So you can drop it in the chat room. One thing that you think you will do differently this week to show empathy, to show emotional intelligence at your workplace, with relationships, with people that you come in contact with. Are you going to be journaling more? That's practice is actually very, very amazing. Trust me. That practice is very, very amazing, because you would offload everything that is in your head, right? And put it right down. Like, oh, was I really thinking about this? I didn't know that. Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kotega. Do you have any final remarks for us? Any final word? Anything that you just like to say, to just a word, a sentence?
It's what I've said. I think I've said this like 10 times already. I've said this like 10 times already. IQ will get you in the room, but EQ will keep you in the room. It will get you promoted, and it will help you accelerate in your career.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kotega, for these valuable insights. Trust me, the time that we spent here it should be cherished, cannot be, it's something that you should relive. So you want to come back to the YouTube link and watch it over again. Probably there's something that you probably didn't hear clearly the first time, and you want to watch it over again to ensure that you are on the right track. So we're going to be closing very soon. Remember, IQ may open the doors. EQ will help you thrive. It will keep that job. It will help you get promoted once you are inside. Thank you so much. Remember, you are your best self when you pause and not react. Thank you so much. I will be handing over to Coach Israel right now.
Thank you all so much. Bye.
Hello, everyone. Can we please make it rain in the chat room for the amazing Coach Tega Omogo and the amiable Atinuke Adamoleko? They did a very, very fantastic job. Well done. I was at the backstage. I learned so much today. If there's one of the pillars of emotional intelligence that I'm going to work on actively, for me, it's my social skills. Yes, it's my social skills 100%. My takeaway from today's session is to nurture relationships, to be sincere and to be honest about nurturing relationships. A few of us, our social battery can get really, really low at times, and we probably will not just have energy. I recall the story she shared about, someone who went for a meeting and was on at our device the whole time. That probably can be me. But I've learned from today's session that there's a whole lot of value that you can mine out of relationships. So I learned absolutely a whole lot from today's session. Thank you, Coach Tega. You did a phenomenal job, regardless of all of the challenges you went through to make it to today's session. I call you the resilient Coach Tega. Thank you so much for giving us perspective and for being vulnerable. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and your insights so plainly and so sincerely and so powerfully. I learned so much from your session. I say a very big thank you. Atinuke did a fantastic job moderating today. Thank you so much as well. Now, if you are on this live chat and you have not shared this link with your friends and those you know, you haven't done well at all. I want to ask that you please share this with everyone. We will be having these sessions all through the Fridays at 4 p.m. leading up to the summit on the 10th and the 11th. 10th, like we said earlier, is a fully virtual summit. We're having both morning and evening sessions for the 10th. It's fully virtual. And then the physical session is holding on the 11th at the Raw Materials Event Center in Maitama here in the beautiful city of Abuja, FCT. If you are in the city of Abuja, I ask you, do not wait. We have limited slots and we cannot reserve them for whoever does not register. The link for the registration is showing in the chat room right now. We ask that you please make it a point of duty to not only register, but to also be an ambassador of the Career Acceleration Summit. It's all about taking your career to the next level, giving you the tools, the information, the network, and everything you basically need to just 10x, 100x, 1000x your career journey so you can arrive very quickly at where you are going to. At Catson Consult, we want to see you thrive. We want to see you do well. We're all about enabling and empowering individuals to take better choices that will lead them in the direction of the outcomes that they want to get to in life. So please make it a point of duty, whether you're an entry-level professional, a mid-level professional, or you're looking to pivot from one career trend or career path to another, this summit is for you. There's a lot of gold to mine in this journey. This pre-summit conversations I've been holding for the past 3 weeks. This is the third in the series. We have 6 of them. We can't cover all the topics, all the thematic areas of career acceleration in a 2-day summit. So we thought to start the conversation earlier, and it's been amazing. Next week, we're delving into a very, very important topic. And guess what it is? It is themed Standing Out Without Burning Out, what they did not teach you about work in school. Standing out without burning out, what they didn't teach you about work in school. How do you stand out in today's competitive workspace and not burn out? How, when life is life, like Kotega said earlier, how would you see to it that you continue to do well, you continue to thrive without burning out on your career journey? That's what we'll be looking into next week. I will be the moderator and I can't wait to get into the room. I won't be doing it alone. I'll be doing it with Coach Shamaka Chiwendu. I won't tell you our profile ahead of time, but I want to ask that you please get in the room, get your friends, get your enemies, even if possible. Everyone you know, that your guy really always asks you for urgent 2K. This is your give back to the person, and you can tell them that, see, not saying I don't do anything for you this year, or this is your opportunity to give back to those you love. Let's do this together. Let's accelerate our career journey. Atinuke said it earlier, of what benefit it is if you're the only one doing well in your ethnos. Get your friends, get your family members, get everyone that you want to see thrive in their career journey into the room. 4 p.m. next week, Friday. Studio opens about 10 minutes before 4 so that we can join in the room, we can engage, we can have conversations. Don't forget, this summit is all about networking as well. So who knows? The key or the door to the next big break in your career might just be in the chat room. Make sure you're visible as well. It's not enough for you to just come into the room, to just sit in quietly, to just mine all the value there is. We need you to also engage. We need you to also project yourself in the room as much as possible. As we do so, I'm very, very positive that by the next time we're having this summit, hey, last year we were just 1,000, over 1,000 professionals, almost 2,000 from across the world who joined the room. This year, we're aiming to reach over 5,000 professionals, and who knows, we just might hit 50,000 in the next 1 year. So why don't you just make it a point of duty to be intentional about your career journey and to make sure that you're committed to doing everything that is necessary to take your career from where it is currently to where you want to be. So from here at the Career Acceleration Summit Studios, with a fun regards from our convener, Coach Afolaki Agumbiade, we're signing out today, and we look forward to seeing you next week at 4 p.m. Like I said, studio time is 10 minutes before 4 next week. Let's connect, let's collaborate, and let's make sure that everything that we're learning in this summit, we put it to practice and let us take our career to the next level. From all of us here at the Career Acceleration Summit, broadcasted live from the beautiful city of Abuja. It's raining here, actually. I don't know if it's raining where you are, but it's raining here. The weather is very cool. From the beautiful city of Abuja, myself and the team were signing out today, and we look forward to seeing you next week at 4 p.m., joining us for the next edition of our Fireside Chat. Until then, keep winning, because winning looks really good on you. Do enjoy the rest of the day. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye. See you again soon. Bye.
Vendors, why you people abusing your customers? Hey, those voice notes. Customer will say 1, you will say 10. For what? It's a service. You serve. The customer is here, you are here, you deliver a service. How did I know all of this? I attended a customer service training some 3-4 years ago. Yeah, and it changed my business. Now, customers rate my customer service over 95%. I don't want to say 100%. I don't want to be proud. Yeah, but my customer service in this store, in this business, is something to reckon with. Because I'm intentional, so I invested